Welcome back. We will now continue our interview with Sean Shaw, the Democratic nominee for Attorney General. Given the way the race for governor has already been marred by allegations of racism, I asked Shaw how big a factor the issue will likely be in November.
It is a factor, right? We'd be lying if we said it wasn't, but I'm going to make this case to you. I'm the most qualified person running for Attorney General. And race, gender, who cares? I am the most qualified person with regard to background, with regard to experience, with regard to the case I'm making to people. That's what you got to sell people.
Maybe we should have started there, because I think in a lot of ways you're reintroducing yourself now to voters. So what should they know about you in terms of your background?
Listen, I was the insurance consumer advocate of the state. I was someone who has protected people all my legal career, all my professional career. You know, I'm a member of the State House of Representatives right now. I've got a record to run on, and I'm damn proud of it. There's no one that's been a bigger protector of consumers and everyday people running for any office in this state this cycle than me. And that's what we're bringing to the table.
Where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to school?
Yeah, I was born in Jacksonville. I was raised in Tallahassee. My father was Leander Shaw. He was the first African-American Chief Justice of the Florida Supreme Court. He was on the bench for 20 years. Clearly, you know what kind of impact that had on me. I went to Princeton University and then the University of Florida. I'm going to the Gator game this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. But listen, I grew up around the law, around a reverence for the law, what the law can do to protect people, what the law can do to even the playing field, and that's what I believe in. The law is what the law is. That's what type of Attorney General I'll be. I'm going where the law takes me, and that's the beautiful thing about the law. Everyone ought to be held accountable, and everyone ought to be equal under it.
You've also made an issue of gun violence, and you think that the Attorney General should be more active as it relates to gun violence. That's often viewed more as a local issue, local sheriffs, local police departments having to deal with it. What role do you think the Attorney General should be playing?
Jim, someone ought to be doing it. I am tired of candlelight vigils. I'm tired of rallies. I'm tired of tweeting out thoughts and prayers. We need to do something. And politicians, you know, Tallahassee is the place where good things go to die. And we need to find people and we need to find action on this. And listen, then I'll do it. And whether that is, you know, I've said that I want to get a task force, I want to get people together, and we're going to talk about changes that need to be made with regard to background checks, with regard to ammunition, with regard to guns that are available, with regard to how bad people are getting guns so easily. It's not a conversation that's easy to have. That's a politically hard conversation to have, but we need to have it. You know, when I was in the legislature this last session and those Parkland students and the other young people that they inspired came to Tallahassee, they demanded of us that we do something, and we have not lived up to their demand. And those of us that are running for office this cycle, we need to do it. And I am going to pledge to do that and have that holistic conversation, number one. Number two, the NRA has sued the state of Florida based on the law that we passed that has increased background checks, that has raises the age for guns. How does the next Attorney General feel about that lawsuit? I believe that the gun safety measures that are contained in that bill are valid. I believe they're constitutional, and I believe the Attorney General ought to protect them. My opponent does not believe that. The next Attorney General of this state is going to have a huge impact on how Florida deals with guns. That's why, that's one of the reasons this race is so important.
The 3D printers, you want to get involved in that issue too, making sure that you know, you would side with the folks who are suing to try to prevent that from coming out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We already have a problem with bad people getting access to guns too easily. Certainly, I believe that we ought to be stopping 3D printing of guns.
So when you look ahead and you look at the Florida electorate, what are you hearing from them in terms of their concerns? Pam Bondi made a major issue. Can you give her credit, for instance, on the opioid crisis? Do you think that she did good work when it came there?
I can. It was too late. She's been in office 8 years, and we just started hearing about her joining the lawsuit here a couple months ago. Listen, this is an office that requires proactive measures. It's an office that requires a level of aggression that, quite frankly, has been missing. This is the people's lawyer. That's what I'm running to be. I'm running to be the lawyer for the people of the state of Florida. I'm not running to be the general counsel to the governor. I'm not running to get along with the cabinet. I'm not running to do whatever the legislature says. I'm answerable to the people, and that's the message we've been sending, and it is a message that resonates. I mean, these constitutional amendments, Jim, to repeat myself, that's so important to people. Public education education, the constitutional amendment. Amendment 1, dollars the environment, the constitutional amendment. Medicinal cannabis, 65-70% of the people approve these constitutional amendments.
Let's talk about some of the amendments that are coming forward. Amendment 4 deal with the restoration of civil rights. Where are you on that? I'm assuming you're in support of it.
I am in support of it, but let me tell you this. I just gave you 3 examples of constitutional amendments that the legislature is not implementing. What do you believe is going to happen under a Republican Attorney General if Amendment 4 passes? That's the problem. You have to have someone that will hold the legislature accountable when these amendments are passed and they don't implement them. I'm telling you here, face to face, that's exactly what I'll do. That's a huge part of this job.
We look forward to having the Republican nominee, Ashley Moody, in for an interview soon. Up next, the move to unite the young people paid off for Andrew Gillum in the primary. But will it work for him and other Democrats in November? We'll explore that question when we come back.